Hey guys, Oscar Gastelum here, Area Manager for South Pacific Financial, sitting here again with Gretza with Big Block Realty.
Hi.
So, a big question that we get asked right around this time of the year is, should I buy? Is this a good time? Where we tend to see most people disconnect, right? Around this time of the year.
That's correct.
So Gretza and I came across this great article this morning. We thought it'd be great to share with you. This is published by Realtor.com, and the topic is 7 reasons fall might just be the best time to buy a home. And we kind of wanted to share these top 7 reasons with you. All right, so let's go ahead and start with reason number 1 on this list is low home prices. Let's kind of talk about what that means.
So there is, on this article, Realty Track did an analysis of 32 million home sales in the last 15 years, and they determined that on average, buyers pay 2.6% less than the market value. And we can see that here, if we put in an offer right now, there's not very much competition, the price can stay lower.
And that's typically kind of where that comes into place because the competition isn't high, and the motivation is typically that's where it brings sellers to adjust their prices. Not necessarily that values are going down, this is just adjusting their prices. Now, this article actually gave a pretty clear example for $300,000, 2.6% translates to about $7,800. So it's a chunk of change.
It's very significant.
So reason number 1 makes complete sense. I can say that we both agree on that. Reason number 2, it kind of piggybacks on number 1, is less competition. And kind of what does that mean?
Less competition. You see their kids are back in school, so sellers don't want to move their kids.
Makes sense, yeah.
From the school. The major sports have started their seasons.
Yeah.
So people want to stay in their home to watch those sports, believe it or not. And also, not only the major leagues are back in season, but also the kids are back in their sports.
Now that can translate to not just the schooling or playing the sport for the school, but a lot of these students that play for a league, even just moving them outside the area can dictate kind of where they're going to play. And obviously that's a lot of huge importance for these buyers / sellers as well. We're in San Diego. We have to mention, and one of the factors that actually plays into this is, of course, is weather. You get a little nice and clear sky. We're expected to get 80 some odd degrees, but the reality is there will be some rain. Let's pray for some rain here by the end of the year. But what tends to happen there is a lot of people tend to stay home. So if you're one that's not scared of the weather, utilizing technology to help view and study the market, here's a great opportunity where most people are kind of shutting down because of the weather for you to kind of stay ahead of the curve. So something to keep in mind.
But also, even though we have great weather here, the days are shorter.
Oh, absolutely.
So that also plays.
What are we talking like?
On that.
2 weeks? 2 weeks, I believe, from this point, time to change. So you have shorter days. It starts getting dark right around 5 o'clock. So it's something that can either cripple us as a home buyer, or we can use that to our advantage. Everything we talk about here is how for you to leverage from this, where some people might typically be backpedaling. Again, leverage. So let's jump down to number 3, worn out home sellers. Kind of what does that mean?
There are those home sellers that couldn't sell their homes during the summer months.
Yeah.
So now they have to sell. They maybe want to move before the holidays. They have to be somewhere else.
Right.
So they're very motivated.
And I think that's an area that a lot of us tend to forget. Markets typically are driven by first-time home buyers. So you got to remember that if you're buying that home, in most cases that seller is also buying a home. So their motivation just may be as equal, if not higher, than yours. So that's something that, you know, when it comes to negotiating, it can kind of become a win-win when you're dealing with 2 real estate professionals that can professionally handle that type of negotiation. And of course, you know, being that they're making a move, they're selling a property, a lot of us want to take advantage of the holidays and celebrate the holidays, of course, in our new home.
Correct.
Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seller. So definitely something to take into account.
So number 4 is the holidays are around the corner. Kind of piggybacks on number 3. Again, they want to be out before the holidays, before Thanksgiving, before Christmas. So they need to sell that home because they want to buy that other home.
Yeah, makes sense. And it seems like, I mean, you guys are seeing a common pattern here. It seems like a lot of these kind of piggyback off of each other, and it makes complete sense. Number 5, which in generally tends to be most people's advantage, is of course the year-end tax credit that comes along with owning a home.
This is very important, and it's one of the reasons why I always tell my buyers, buy now. You get a lot of tax credits, right. Property tax, mortgage interest, closing costs to offset your taxable earnings. That's very important. We're not CPAs.
Right.
We always ask you to go to your CPA and get more advice, but these are some of the advantages that you have as a buyer to close before the end of the fiscal year.
And this is why we highly encourage you also, being like Gretza said, we're not tax specialists, nor are we giving tax advice, but here's a great opportunity for you to have a 5-minute conversation with your accountant and explore that option, saying if and when we were to purchase a home, what is that? How does that translate to you specifically? So definitely an opportunity for you to take advantage of the year-end tax credit that comes along with home ownership. Let's jump right into number 6, more quality time with your real estate team. This is definitely a topic that we love to chat about. Gretza, why don't you lead me on this one?
Just as some sellers and some buyers kind of check off during this time of the year, right. So do real estate teams and lenders. I can see that in real estate, and
absolutely.
I'm sure you can see it as a lender as well.
We see it absolutely. It's the same thing. One piggybacks off the other. If you're having buyers that are backpedaling, essentially that's affecting a real estate agent's business as well as a lender. Just how we encourage you as a potential buyer is also something that you can leverage off of. As professionals, we see that as well, because we see an opportunity that people are checking out as well as a professional that they're working with. So this can create, if we have a relationship with you, to take advantage of these areas that may be crippling someone else.
Correct.
All right, so number 7, home improvement bargains. This is actually one that stood out to me and actually gave me a little bit of a wow factor that I didn't think about, but why don't you elaborate a little bit about that?
But it kind of goes back to number 6 and all the other ones where everybody else is checking out, you jump in and right. You take advantage of that opportunity and leverage it to your advantage. You can see that a lot of stores will have appliances sales, they have sales on building materials. You may even be able to contract a contractor for less at this time of the year, because again, everything slows down at this time.
I agree. So you're going to see the Home Depots, the Lowe's of the world, holidays, sales kind of come into play. Typically, in most cases, when people buy a home, they want to upgrade appliances and make these minor upgrades to the homes, which means obviously spending a little bit of cash. You want to make sure you leverage that as best as possible by taking advantage of some of these sales. So home improvement bargains is definitely something to take advantage of going into the holiday season. So we're hoping that these tips kind of just give you a brief highlight, and I say it's a brief because we can definitely go in depth with you, and we'd love to, but it gives you a reason why the month of October and actually leading into November is definitely a good opportunity to take advantage of this market. Gretza and I would love an opportunity to kind of reach out to you and walk you through this process to make sure that it is the right move for you. From a lending perspective, if you're looking for any questions in making sure this makes financial sense to you and your family, feel free to reach out to us on our website at spfcnet.com/teamcore.
And you can reach me at www.romanforheroes.com or on my phone at 510-366-4110. It's important to have this real estate lender combination, our team
yes.
that works for you.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Happy holidays and take care. God bless.